stopped work for like a year or
An
something like that.
endangered spider? How do they know it's endangered?
No idea.
Maybe when I was there and they started. I can see
But it'll be nice. And then they're building a beach right now on our side of 60.
Are they? I mean, I've heard where the sign is off.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Commander 25th Air Force, Major General Bradford J. Schwedo, we welcome you to today's retirement ceremony in honor of Senior Master Sergeant Jason Thompson. I'm Master Sergeant Christopher Fry. I will be your narrator today. The retirement ceremony represents the culmination of a distinguished career in service to the United States and in support of our nation's freedom. It also pays tribute to the sacrifices and professional excellence that have traditionally been keys to the greatness and, at times, the survival of America. Your presence today not only manifests your appreciation for our honorees' dedication to duty, but also reflects your sincere wishes for a gratifying future. You have to excuse me a little bit. I've never done this before, so I'm stumbling through this. For today's event, we will be following military protocol for an indoor ceremony. It will be appropriate for you to stand on several occasions. First, for the arrival of the official party, the posting of the colors, and the playing of the national anthem. As a reminder, military members should stand at attention, or civilian guests should place their right hand over their hearts during the singing of the national anthem. Additionally, you will be asked to stand for a medal presentation, the reading of the retirement order, and at the end of the ceremony, during the Air Force song and the departure of the official party and family members. A retirement ceremony is a prestigious event and the highest honor we can give an airman after a long career of honorable service. A formal retirement ceremony is designed to leave our retirees with a tangible expression of appreciation for their contributions and faithful service to the United States Air Force. It is used to wish good luck to future endeavors and to bid a heartfelt farewell to a member transitions into the Air Force retirement. Through this transition, we must remember that military retirement is just an extension of an active duty career. A retired Air Force member will continue to be a valuable part of the United States Air Force community. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, Colonel Timothy Sipowicz and Senior Master Sergeant Jason Thompson. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by recording artist and retired Senior Master Sergeant Adam Cruz and the invocation by Colonel Lovett.
Cut and up. The peace. Right shoulder. On. Shoulder cut. Forward. Up.
Coat.
Hold. Present. On.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Would you bow in prayer with me, please? Lord of grace and life, we offer you humble thanks this afternoon as we celebrate the retirement of Senior Master Sergeant Jason Thompson. We thank you for your presence in his life, where you have kept Sergeant Thompson and his family throughout the years of service, beginning in October of '92. As Slider and Sylvia look back today and in the days to come, we pray that you will fill them both with a great sense of gratitude. Fill them with thankfulness for all the places they have been, both stateside and overseas, the many deployments they have endured, the sacrifices they have made, the blessings of friends and colleagues, as well as the great satisfaction of an entire career excellently done. As grateful comrades in arms, we offer you our thanks for the many contributions Senior Master Sergeant Thompson has made as an information manager, airborne radio operator, instructor, airborne systems engineer, operations superintendent, functional manager, and even as a first sergeant. We are grateful for this exemplary leader and outstanding airman, especially for his commitment to excellence, his mentorship and training of younger airmen, for the many missions and operations he has supported, and the many friends their whole family has touched and encouraged, and for the many adventures and opportunities they've enjoyed as an Air Force family. As they leave active military service and embrace new opportunities here in the San Antonio area, continue to bless them richly, we pray. Encourage Senior Master Sergeant Thompson, Sylvia, and their extended family by the words of congratulations and appreciation from friends, colleagues, as well as our grateful Air Force and nation. Fill them with hope and give them the sure confidence of your continuing guidance and presence in the future that is theirs to discover. In your holy name, the one who has created us, the one who has blessed us in the past, and the one who holds our future, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. As we honor Senior Master Sergeant Thompson for his years of faithful and dedicated service, we would like to introduce some very special guests. We're honored to have in attendance today some of Senior Master Sergeant's family and special guests. Joining us today, his wife, Sylvia Thompson, his father, Stephen Thompson from Farmington, New Mexico, and his mother, Kay Thompson from Roswell, New Mexico. His brother, Greg Thompson, his wife, Ginger, and his nephews, Cooper and Jet, who reside here in San Antonio, Texas. His sister-in-law's parents, former Air Force member Mr. Barney Mays, and his wife, Mary, from Kerrville, Texas. His first supervisee and longtime friend, Chief Master Sergeant Select Dustin Hall from Destin, Florida. Chief Master Sergeant Chuck Cottrell and his wife, Amber, from Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Retired Master Sergeant Art White and his wife, Lise, from Warrensburg, Missouri.
Just echo those salutations to the family. Sylvia, it's great to see you here. And of course, Steve and Kay, glad you guys can make it in. Family, friends, men and women of the 25th. I know we're all busy. We all have quite a bit of tasks and items on our plate. It's telling that you filled the room here, Jay, and Jay's honor. I don't think they're here, but I want to give a special thanks to the Honor Guard. You know, those guys put a lot of hours in what you saw there in that brief presentation of the colors, and I tell you what, they hit a home run every time they're here. And Chaplain Raria, great words indeed. And then finally, everybody else had a hand in putting this on. You're doing great. First time he's ever done this. Breathe through your nose, you're going to be just fine. But you know, I think it's important. You know, as you look in the front row, the family is exactly where they are, front center. It's a family that pays the greatest price in any military career. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Steve and Kay, you raised a great son. You know, and I can't imagine. Well, I guess I can because I now have a son that I just put on a bus to basic. But it's probably the greatest gift you can give your country is your son or daughter to serve in the armed forces. So thank you for that. And Sylvia, They touched on it, right? The deployments, the long hours, the cold meals that you had waiting for them that never were eaten, and certainly not least of which the PCSs that uproot the family and permanent change of station, that translocate a family from one location to another. Those aren't easy things, and these are for you. This ceremony is for the family. I've attended and presided over numerous retirements. I've kind of have forged in my mind a belief on what they're for, and it is. It's for the family. We celebrate the member. We talk about the member, talk about everything that he or she has done, but it's really the family that we're here to celebrate. And the second thing that I believe in when it comes to military retirements is it should no way resemble a congressional filibuster. Okay? So Jay already gave me my marching orders of 10 minutes tops and 60 minutes on the ceremony. We're going to do everything we can to stick to that, but I can't give you any promises. So, you know, with that, we're here to honor the 24-year career of Senior Master Sergeant Jay Thompson, a career that started off as a safety information manager and ended up as one of the foremost, one of the highest respected combat aviators in the United States Air Force. An aviator that has time on 3 of the Air Force's premier platforms, the RC-135 Rivet Joint, which is one of our spy planes, the E-4, which is our AWACS aircraft, which is a command and control bird, and then of course E-4B, which is a command and control bird as well that the National Command Authorities fly around on. But you know, no matter how diverse his career, ground jobs, airborne jobs, in garrison jobs, deployed jobs are, there are absolutely common threads that find their way through his career, and they were very evident from the start. You know, traits. Well, before I get into that, I want to make sure: does everybody have a program? Everybody, okay. So I'm not sure what page it's on, but if you look in there, it's got his career summary, right? It's got where he's been, what he's done. So I am not going to be redundant and go down each assignment, each job. But what I'd like to do is talk about the characteristics that set Jay apart, right? The characteristics and traits, you know, like service, drive for excellence, and leadership. And I think the fact that we're here right now speaks to his service. You know, 1% of the U.S. population raises their hand, steps forward, and takes the oath to serve in the armed forces. 1%. Of that 1%, 17% actually make it a career, where they stay in 20 years or more. So you could probably start and stop that conversation on service right there. But you know, when you start dissecting Jay's career, it is absolutely riddled with examples of service that he went over and above on. Everything from deployments where he raised his hand, didn't have to go raise his hand to go, so the other guy didn't have to go. Deployments like flying Operation Southern Watch just after the first Gulf War along the south and western borders of Iraq out of PSAP, or the sorties that he flew over Operation Enduring or Operation Allied Force. And those were some of those were dangerous missions. There were aircraft get shot at. We lost several aircraft in that campaign as we chased Milosevic, you know, and tried to capture him for his war crimes. And then finally, probably most notably was his role in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan with the Rivet Joint, as he and his team, the crew, put together the pieces to the puzzle locating Osama bin Laden. I don't know how much you guys know about that, probably nothing at all, which is good. But he had a hand in that, and I think it really speaks to the fact that he raised his hand to go, no matter how dangerous that was. He was just as involved back at home as far as service goes, both inside the fence line and outside the fence line. Organizations like Big Brothers, Salvation Army, he put on a Thanksgiving dinner one year for the needy. And we all know how involved he is with Little League Baseball. I believe it's the San Antonio Knights, if I remember correctly. And that mirrors exactly what he did inside the fence line with the units. You know, if we ever needed someone to organize any kind of philanthropy, any kind of event to raise money for a charity, he was there. Whether it's a golf tournament, whether it was coaching a softball team, nobody else wanted to coach, Jay was your guy. Jay was absolutely your guy. So I would offer what was equally impressive about Jay's character was his drive for excellence. Now, anyone that knows Jay knows that is one competitive dude. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, so, you know, the thing about Jay is usually excellence in a person's career, you can usually look on his uniform and see the ribbons, right, that he has. But, you know, when you look through his career and you start tearing it apart, that guy over the course of 24 years won over 24 annual and quarterly awards, right? So most of us win, you know, maybe a handful, maybe 5 at best. He won over 24. PME, 3 times he was named a DG or honor grad, which is top 10% of a graduating class. 2 times the enlisted air crew member of the year, which is impressive unto itself. And then probably to me, what was most impressive was the fact as a tech sergeant, he was awarded a Defense Meritorious Service Medal in a joint environment. I don't think I know another tech sergeant that was wearing around DMS or DSM in my 26 years career, so that's pretty impressive as well. But I'll tell you what hit me, that really knocked me off my feet when I read his record was Jay has a knack of making everyone else around him better. That drive really motivates everyone else around him. When you looked at his EPRs always started off with, you know, number 1 of whatever as senior NCO of the year. The last part of that bullet always has resulted in squadron of the year or enlisted aircrew member of the year, which led to outstanding ORI rating for the squadron. He had a way of making everyone much better around him, and it was really the way that he was able to motivate his airmen. He was able to, and it's because his airmen trusted him. His airmen believed in him because he took time to mentor his airmen. It was really that leadership that Jay had, that capability he had that led to that. And so the first time I ran across Jay was, I believe it was at Offutt, 2008. Squadron commander there, we were flying the Rivet Joint, and you know, as a squadron commander, you're looking to see who your racehorses are, right? You're looking out there to see who those formal and informal leaders are. Formal leadership is one thing, right? I'm a colonel, so you know the master sergeant's going to listen to what I have to say, right? The informal leader is really, you know, when you're making your money, and that's where there's no rank on. You're outside of the work setting. And you notice people are still following this guy because they want to. And that fact wasn't just wasted on me. That other squadron commanders, other commanders along the way noticed that as well. Because what you find, again, in his record is Jay holding jobs of positions that are typically held by people much senior to him. So I don't know what it was like to be in your squadron, where you know you're holding a senior master sergeant job as a tech sergeant or master sergeant, but I'm sure that there's a little grief for that to go along with it. He was, as mentioned, he was a squadron first sergeant, a ops superintendent. In fact, one time, I think it was your last deployment, he was triple-hatted as the deployed first sergeant, the group superintendent, and the lead airborne systems engineer for that deployment. And I think that just, you know, when you send a team off for a deployment, as a commander, you're putting a lot of trust in those senior guys. And I think that really speaks to how you were able to lead your airmen and how you took care of those airmen. So Jay, I'll close. All right, I think I'm okay on time, but on behalf of those airmen, on behalf of all those airmen out there that you mentored and you led along the way, I want to thank you. And I can tell you the room would not be big enough to hold them all. All right? So I also want to thank you and Sylvia. Sylvia, you know, taking care of the families. I know you had a big hand in that. Whenever your husband has a position of leadership, that burden falls to the spouse. And I'll tell you, I've heard nothing but good things from the spouses about the role that you played. And I thank you for that. So on behalf of General Shwedo, the 25th Air Force, and certainly a very, very, very grateful nation, I wish you two nothing but luck as you close one chapter and open the next. So God bless you all.
Thank you, Colonel Sipowicz. Senior Master Sergeant Thompson, will you please join Colonel Sipowicz at the front of the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand.
Publish order.
Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presentations, greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster, to Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson for meritorious service 2 March 2014 to 1 April 2016. Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States Air Force as A-23 Superintendent, Directorate of Intelligence and Operations, Headquarters, 25th Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. During this period, Sergeant Thompson expertly managed the employment and related policies for over 1,100 career enlisted aviators across 19 Mission Design Series aircraft. His outstanding organizational skills and ceaseless efforts were instrumental during the consolidation of 3 RC-135 aircrew positions, ensuring a 75% increase in sortie capability rates for Air Combat Command. Additionally, his attention to detail drove the success of Air Combat Command's Information Assurance Plan to maintain accreditation of 192 airmen for National Security Agency requirements. Sergeant Thompson's leadership was key in creating a training course for 2 Air Force Specialty Codes merger to include training and skill level requirements, saving $1.2 million in training costs. Finally, his continuous mentorship and headquarters support earned him the Headquarters Directorate level Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year in 2014 and 25th Air Force Lance P. Saigon nominee for 2015. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Thompson culminate a distinguished career in the Air Force, in the service of his country, and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Given under my hand 1 December 2015, Bradford J. Schweda, Major General, United States Air Force, Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Senior Master Sergeant Thompson will now receive 2 certificates of appreciation. The first is a certificate of appreciation from President of the United States, Barack H. Obama, which reads, Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson, I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history, and with devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack H. Obama, Commander-in-Chief. The second is a certificate of appreciation from former President of the United States, George W. Bush, which reads, Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson, United States Air Force, congratulations on your retirement from the United States Armed Forces. Time and again throughout our nation's history, the safeguarding of our way of life has depended on the vigilance and bravery, the dedication of our military personnel. Indeed, we know that liberty cannot long... Certificate of retirement from the United States Air Force, Certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 1st day of April 2016. Signed, General Mark A. Welsh III, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Major General Bradford J. Schweda, Commander, 25th Air Force. Finally, Senior Master Sergeant Thompson will be presented with a certificate of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, James A. Cody. The certificate reads, I am proud to join friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson, the achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our grateful service. Your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one opens, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, James A. Cody, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. At this time, I ask that Sylvia please come forward. We would like to present 2 certificates of appreciation to Mrs. Thompson. Before we read the certificates, let us take a moment to thank her for her personal sacrifice in supporting the careers of one of our very best senior NCOs. The Air Force's spouse is a special person in an elite club. As military professionals, we recognize and accept that we may be called on to make sacrifices for the good of our country. The Air Force spouse is expected to make sacrifices also. Spouses are asked to face short notice deployments and long TDYs. Spouses are asked to understand that there will be times when they will not have first claim to the member's time as they devote the time and efforts needed to serve our nation and our Air Force with excellence. Sylvia, you have more than met the challenge. You have worked side by side with your husband while making a home. You supported him as he moved through the ranks with ever-increasing responsibilities. His successes and achievements are a testament to your tremendous support. So, as we honor your husband today, it is appropriate that we also honor you and join a grateful nation in thanking you for being here. As you have faithfully stood by his side so many times before, you stand together, ready to make this transition from military to civilian life. We extend to you our appreciation and respect. The certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation for the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate in recognition to Mrs. Sylvia P. Thompson for the commitment and numerous contributions that have made positive impacts on the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service, given on this first day of April 2016. Signed, General Mark A. Welch III, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Major General Bradford J. Schwedel, Commander, 25th Air Force. The second certificate is Certificate of Appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. That certificate reads, on behalf of all Air Force airmen and their families, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents this certificate of appreciation to Mrs. Sylvia P. Thompson. I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Given this first day of April 2016, signed, James A. Cody, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Please remain on stage for the presentation of your husband's retirement pin. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. At this time, I'd like to ask you to place this pin on your husband's lapel to symbolize his transition from active duty to retired status. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the reading of the retirement order. Publishing order. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C. Special Order Number Alpha Charlie 002097. Senior Master Sergeant Jason M. Thompson, effective 31 March 2016. You are relieved from active duty. Headquarters 25th Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland. Retired effective 1 April 2016. Per AFI 363203, in the grade of Senior Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Deborah Lee James.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Jason M. Thompson, Senior Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, retired.
All right, I'm
not good for canned speeches, and like Colonel Sipp said, I want to make this quick and easy because we have a nice party to go to tonight. And, you know, looking out in the audience, this is exactly who I would have expected to be here. And just thank you for all of you continuing to serve now, all of you that have retired as well. There's a lot of people in attendance today that not only have been in my shoes, but they continue to serve in the DoD, and they still give a tremendous sacrifice to the nation by what you do. So thank you all. And working in this environment, the Intel world was not my world by trade, but just be coming into this environment and just showed me how smart I really wasn't. Because my goodness, what you do and what you execute for the United States Air Force and the DoD is just absolutely amazing. So thank you all for being here. And on behalf of my family, we really appreciate the support. I noticed a couple people out there as well that I want to recognize. Good childhood friend of mine, Scott Lilly, is here with us today. He was wounded in Iraq when we were over in Germany, and he just has a miraculous story. He's a true American hero, been recognized by President Bush, and he continues to support the Air Force today. And speak his word on behalf of the troops and security forces. And Scott, it's a blessing to have you with us. And thanks for showing up today. Appreciate it. Another friend of mine, first person I ever supervised, drove all the way from Florida, got in 9 o'clock this morning, showed up at my doorstep. Chief Master Sergeant Select, Dustin Hall. Dustin, love you, brother. Thanks for showing up, and appreciate it. To my sister-in-law's parents that live over in Kerrville, Barney Murray, thank you very much for showing up. Barney is ex-Air Force himself. Takes a lot of pride in what he did, has always been very supportive. And it's great to have extended family so close by, and thank you guys very much for showing up today. Art and Lise, Art retired out of the Security Command as a Master Sergeant back when we were security, the old Security Command up there, and he had some heck of a stories, and I finally get to work in the same building you did way back, and hopefully, you know, we can drive you by there and show you what it's like now or whatever. But they drove a couple days from Warrensburg, Missouri, and it's a pleasure to have you guys with us as well. Also, Chief Master Sergeant Chuck Cottrell that came down from Barksdale Air Force Base. When I was a squadron superintendent, we were having a lot of problems getting planes launched on time. And it had to do with the extreme temperature fluctuations on the RC-135 aircraft out of Offutt. And so what it was is, you know, we either weren't getting the planes heat controlled in time, or there wasn't enough in the summer, there wasn't enough air. And so just a few phone calls and networking, I tried to work through the chain of command, and we continued to lose sorties, we continued to lose dollars, we continued to lose training. And Chuck was just unbelievable working with him, and he fixed all those problems as the maintenance group chief at the time. So our relationship has gone way back with Sylvia and Amber and their family, but I've never seen any of his maintenance airmen that didn't think he was not only a great leader, but he just goes to show you don't have to be an a-hole to be a great leader. Chuck's been a great friend and a great mentor to work with. And then to my family, you know, one of the big reasons that I'm doing this today really is because of you guys. You know, it's been 23 years. The time was right. We're kind of somewhere where we want to be now. And I appreciate Greg giving me the opportunity to work with some of the best 12-year-old baseball team in Texas. You guys are awesome. And not only does my brother coach baseball, but he really gives a Christian mentality to the team, and they're just excellent kids. And so God always comes first, and that's really important. And it's been a pleasure working with those type of kids and you guys. And I have a little present for you guys here. That's just a little reminder. God always comes first.
cool. Thank you. Very cool.
And then to my mother, you know, I was never a perfect child. You know, and she put up with me all these years, and we always had our differences, but, you know, I love you, Mom. I remember being stationed in Saudi Arabia, and she sent me this little Christmas tree. And that Christmas tree, setting that thing up, first time away from home, you know, even though I had to work 12 hours a day on Christmas Day, when I came home, I had a little Christmas tree, and I just remember that getting me through the deployment and all your encouragement. And little things like that always meant a lot when I was deployed, and you helping me out. And just wanted to give you a little token appreciation for all you've helped me with.
You've been hiding this stuff all day.
Like Easter eggs.
You'll never find it all.
And then,
Surprised he could find it.
you know, my dad probably doesn't, I don't even know if he remembers this, but when I first tried to get in the Air Force, I went down to the recruiter after I'd worked multiple jobs, and I didn't want to come in the military at all, really. I had some friends that played for baseball for New Mexico Military Institute, and I was a pretty good baseball player, and they're like, hey, coach wants you to come down, try out, and I'm like, I am not going to cut my hair. I'm not going to follow rules. I'm just not going to do it. And so, you know, a couple jobs, coaching a couple teams, college, things get rough. So I go down to the Air Force recruiter, and he immediately says, "No, you have too much of a lead foot." So had too many speeding tickets, so forth and so on. So I go back and tell Dad, and I'm like, "Hey, I can't get in the Air Force because I have too many speeding tickets." So through some miracle, my dad was always a good politician, and through time, somehow the next time I went to the Air Force recruiter, my driving record was clean. The only reason I'm here today is really because my dad. So, I gave him a little plaque here, and it says, "Thank you for allowing me to see the world." And then lastly, to my beautiful wife, Sylvia. She began working here at Lackland, and she was initially involved with General Shanahan and the Key Spouses Group, so forth and so on. But I can tell you, when we were in a big operational squadron, I had 174 airmen. And as a first sergeant, the first person there when somebody needed something, whether it was a family member, whether it was a significant partner in the business that I've been in, and I just certainly could not have done it without you, and I just really appreciate your support. And that's it. Thank you.
We've got, this is Senior Master Sergeant Thompson, what we call a shadow box.
Oh, very
There.
cool.
He knows about it. It's not going to surprise him. He's seen it. He had a lot to do with getting it together. It is hard to capture 23 years in a piece of wood. Okay? All of this is a part of who he is and what's standing in front of you today. They're the patches from the squadrons that he helped lead throughout his career, as well as you can see that ribbon rack there is always impressive. So this is will always be a nice reminder for Sergeant Thompson and his home. Thank you guys.
And one last thing for me, I would like to thank just Colonel Sipp as well. Really has been a great mentor ever since the day I met him, and I just really appreciate the kind words, sir. And I really appreciate everybody that put effort in, Sergeant Price, Sergeant Chardelli, Sergeant Newell, Sergeant Taylor, Sergeant Glendenning, Sergeant Sample, Sergeant Cruz. That rendition of the national anthem was recorded by Senior Master Sergeant Retired Cruz. Thank you. That was wonderful. And just thanks for all the support in putting this together. And Chaplain, that was a beautiful prayer. Thank you, sir.
Please be seated. This concludes the official part of the ceremony. At this time, Master Sergeant Sample and Tech Sergeant Glendenning will make a special presentation. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space, and Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of the Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves this great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for helping us honor Senior Master Sergeant Thompson today, as his performance exemplifies our Air Force values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Please join us in the singing of the Air Force song to signify the conclusion of our ceremony. Following the Air Force song, we ask that you remain standing until the official party and family members' happy party. We invite everyone to join the receiving line and attend reception honoring Senior Master Sergeant Thompson and his family. directly behind us following the ceremony.
Well done.
There's the pre-party area for Jason's retirement party. There's one of his buddies that's getting ready to, gonna sing and play. Grandma's just out here putting.
Well, I don't know if you call it that.
Beautiful evening. Golf Club of Texas out here.
Bunch of stuff that's probably not good for you, but yeah.
One of the boys got basketball.